How's it going, everybody? It is I, Visual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. If you do enjoy these, make sure to hit that like button on the video, and the team I'm using is in the description if you do want to try it out. So, looking at Braeden's team, we got a probably Mega T-Tar with a Defog Rotom. Helps out for Volcarona and Dragonite, as they don't appreciate Stealth Rocks. Ferrothorn, probably a Stealth Rock here. Mimikyu, maybe could be Life Orb. Dragonite probably Z-move. Volcarona could be Z-move, but most Volcaronas might be leftovers and bulky as well. So let's get into it. This team is made by Unami, the team I'm using. I think Pokegame used it as well in his Road to Top 10 in OU as well a little while back. So it's a really good team for sure. And it's a Z-move here in black. It has 4 attacks. It has a Assault Vest, a Magnezone, a Choice Scarf Tapu Lele as well. So it has some nice pivots as well with the Powdon and Mantine. Mantine is really good for Volcaronas. So I do have the ability to Terravolt, as I'm able to just ignore any abilities. And I'm able to ignore Rotom Wash's Levitate, so that's why I'm able to hit it with an Earth Power. And he hits me with Will-O-Wisp, which sucks because now my Freeze Shock Icy MZ is not going to do too much. I could go for Ice Beam Icy MZ, but still Freeze Shock is more powerful because of Kieran Black's massive attack stat and how powerful Freeze Shock is too as well. So he goes into the Ferrothorn. Let's go for Ice Beam because I thought he would switch out. I didn't think he would stay in with his Rotom again and take an Earth Power and let him just lose his Rotom, because that's just not a good idea. So yeah, I go for that Ice MZ as Ferrothorn came out. I didn't see leftovers on it, so I was like, okay, cool. Maybe he gets up rocks here and I could do some big boy damage so that maybe I could knock him out with Ice Beam the next following turn. But he goes for Leech Seed, which is smart. I thought maybe he would predict me to go into Magnezone too, because Magnezone can easily just come in. Ferrothorn is always scared of Magnezone, unless you're like a Leech Seed Protect set, which maybe could 1v1 Magnezone Choice Scarf. But I am a Assault Vest modest, so I might not be able to get 1v1 by Ferrothorn, but we'll see. He does weaken me with the Hydro Pump right there. Gets a critical hit, and I'm also going to get a critical hit on his Rotom as well, which is pretty clutch. I don't think I knock out Rotom from that range, but he wouldn't have been able to do that kind of damage with Hydro Pump to me, since Magnezone is running HP and Assault Vest, like I said. So that kind of sucks. So now I might be 1v1 with Leech Seed from Ferrothorn, but we'll see, we'll see. So in comes T-Tar. I'm scared of Earthquake, so I go into my Hippowdon. Hippowdon has Rocks, it has Earthquake, it has Whirlwind and Slack Off, and it just can take any physical hit for days because it's one fat mother trucker. It's probably like Moto. He just loves those chunky hippos. I don't know. So Tyranitar could have DD and could have Ice Punch as well. Most of them do like to run that, but he could just be a Stealth Rock set as well. But we'll see. So I get Stealth Rocks up for the Dragonite and Volcarona, but he goes hard into Volcarona. So I don't want to let this just start Quiver Dancing up. I'm kind of scared of it going for a Z-move as well. And also I do want to keep it Powdon for the Tyranitar, the Mimikyu, and the Dragonite. So I don't want to get Z-move from Volcarona and let him weaken me. I could Slack Off and probably live it, but still. He might be like, I don't know, Grass MZ for some odd reason, or Giga Drain, so yeah. And plus, he could be bulky and take an Earthquake. I could Whirlwind him out at the same time, too, but Mantine is really only there for Volcarona looking at his team, so I might as well just go into it and just Toxic him and Scald him and stuff like that, because Volcarona, there's not much else it can really do unless it's going to be like a substitute Swarm set with Buggy MZ or Hidden Power Electric, but nobody really runs that. So I'm pretty safe to just go into Mantine and just click the Toxic and pretty much wall the crap out of it, because Mantine has that insane special defense. It is able to just switch into so many special attackers in the tier until you run into something that can kind of bait it with a special attack, like maybe a Tapu Lele with Side Shock, something like that. Or maybe a Greninja that has a physical move pool, because Greninja could be walled by Mantine unless they're physical. And that could be kind of bad because, you know, Pro T on Greninja is mainly what I'm talking about. Not a physical Ash Greninja, nobody really runs that, but I mean, Mantine should be able to wall that. But they could be Proteon with Rock Slide, and that could do a lot of damage. So yeah, I just go for Scald continuously. As you see, he actually has Giga Drain, which isn't really ran on Volcarona too much. You don't really see that ever. But when you do see it, you're like, oh, snap. It's a good thing I don't have a Tapu Fini, because Mantine is not super effective damage by that. But if you had Tapu Fini, you'd be like, well, crap, that is not a set that Volcarona runs. But it is a set that you could lose to for sure, because nobody really runs it and people don't expect it. So you got to be careful. Volcarona is just one of the prominent sleepers in the tier where it can really just catch you off guard and just pretty much dismantle a lot of teams. Just switching in on grass types and Pokemon in general that can't really one-shot it. And then once it starts Quiver Dancing up, you can't really knock it out with a special attack as well, because it has Roost, and it can just gain all that HP back. But Yeah, Mantine does not care at all, like I said. Yeah, I guess he's trying to burn me here with Flamethrower, with a 10% chance to do that. But I'm just Toxic stalling him with Mantine, so yeah. Even if he burns me, it doesn't matter, because I don't really need Mantine for anything else. Like, I'm just here to just wall you Volcarona. I'm sorry, but it's the way it's going to be. So in comes T-Tar. I don't want to take a Stone Edge because maybe Mantine could be good for Toxicking something else like Mimikyu or something, and plus I have Hippowdon right here. So obviously Hippowdon will come out and just go for like an Earthquake or Whirlwind, but he actually goes for Ice Punch, so that got me off guard. He wanted to Ice Punch my Mantine, which I guess maybe predicted Hippowdon as well, but luckily Hippowdon can take another one and slack it off, and also he could freeze me, which could suck. Then I'll probably have to go back into Mantine and like Scald Burn him, because most Tyranitars, if they have Ice Punch and Earthquake, they might not have Stone Edge. They probably have like Fire Punch and Dragon Dance. Looking at the moveset, maybe not even a Fire Punch, could be Crunch. So he goes for the Dragonite play and goes for a DD as I slacked off, but that does not matter because I got Whirlwind and I can just Whirlwind you out. I mean, it does not matter if you went for the Z move there. I can take that. Yeah, there's not much Dragonite could have done to me. Like Hippowdon, hit Whirlwind was the best play. Then came Mimikyu. I just go for Earthquake because I want to break the disguise, and Mimikyu has Swords Dance up to do some type of damage to Hippowdon, but he brought in Ferrothorn, and luckily Hippowdon is faster than Ferrothorn, so I'm able to knock that out with 2 Earthquakes. Maybe he tried to get it in as a sack, or just try and get a Leech Seed off, maybe hoping that I would be scared out by Power Whip, maybe if I was slower, but yeah, Hippowdon is able to knock it out, because Hippowdon has really good attack as well. Earthquake is able to easily 2-hit KO Ferrothorn from that range. So in comes the Mega T-Tar. I guess he's going to try and freeze me, because at this point, like, looking at his options, he can't really break through Hippowdon anymore. And at this point, I was like, okay, I could just win with my Mega Scizor. I'm just going to sack Hippowdon. Like, I don't care about slacking off, because, I mean, I could probably win with Hippowdon on its own. I mean, I can't beat Dragonite with Hippowdon, but I'd rather just sack Hippowdon at this point, like I said, because Mega Scizor can just come in and Bullet Punch his team and live anything on his team. Like, there's no point of me stalling it out any further. Since Ferrothorn was, like, probably the only thing that Mega Scizor, I didn't want to touch it with Iron Barbs. And he does lock himself in Outrage as well, because Dragonite could have had Fire Punch. And also T-Tar could have had Fire Punch as well for Scizor, but Mimikyu can't really do much unless it's like Swords Dance, Ghost DMZ, and even then Scizor probably lives that. Even though I am running a max attack Scizor, it's not a defense I said. Most Mega Scizors are running max defense for maximum, just like bulk to take on top of Bulus, Landers, Tees, any physical attacker in general. You pair it up with a good special defense Pokemon like Mantine or Gastrodon, and it's really hard to break through. So that's why a lot of people like to pair up Magnezone in teams and trap Scizors and stuff. But I go for Swords Dance as he's locked in Outrage, and then I can go for Bullet Punch to knock him out, and then Mimikyu will come out. I have to hit it with its disguise up, so it could maybe critical hit me, or maybe have like Will-O-Wisp or hit a Power Fire, but I could just Swords Dance up again. And plus I have Tapu Lele in the back. Once I break its disguise, I can just go for Psychic and probably knock it out because I'm Scarfed. And there's not much else he can really do, since he can't Shadow Sneak me in Psychic Terrain. So he actually does have the Mimikyu Z move, which is pretty cool. Mimikyu DMZ, I do like to run that as well. So Dragonite, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was dual Z move on his team. Like Dragonite might have been Z move as well. But he had Outrage, so I don't know. You don't really see Outrage too much on Dragonite. So it could have been just, maybe just, I don't know, a Lumberry set? Because I didn't see leftovers on it, so I'm not too sure. Either way, I take that Mimikyu DMZ. He goes for Shadow Sneak. That is still not enough to knock out Mega Scizor, and down goes Mimikyu to the Bullet Punch, and that is going to be GG versus Braeden. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the tools to break through Mantine and Hippowdon. I mean, maybe Hippowdon, he definitely could have hacked me a little bit, but Mantine and Volcarona just couldn't break through. So yeah, you can see why this team is pretty deadly, especially with the insanely powerful Karen Black. Mega Scizor were able to take physical attacks and just SD up on teams. So next up we got is versus Kuramoz. And looking at his team, I was like, okay, Tapu Koko, Landers, C2 pivots right there, and Incineroar as well, which is interesting. You don't see that in OU ever, but I guess he wants to try it out. And it is a pivot as well. But on my team, I don't have too much for Incineroar. Like, it does knock off and click Flare Blitz versus me pretty nicely. So his biggest threat is Heatran, because it could have Taunt and Toxic, and that could be really bad for Mantine. I have Mega Scizor for the Tapu Bulu. I have Magnezone and Hippowdon for the Tapu Koko. And Magearna is also a big threat as well. I got to be careful with that. It could definitely break through my team with electric and fighting coverage. So if it's Shift Gear or Trick Room, I got to be careful of that. But Magnezone is a Soul Vest, so maybe I could take a hit and hit him up with a move so I can put it in range for Mega Scizor to knock it out, or Hippowdon, because he'd have to be like Fairy MZ to knock out Hippowdon, I do believe. Or unless he starts getting his Soul Heart boost or Calm Minds up, maybe Fighting MZ can knock me out. Or maybe he just has Ice Beam and maybe that could knock me out as well. But Hippowdon is really, really bulky, so... Anyways, the lead off of Kieran Black, he leads off the top Coco. It's shiny, so it's definitely timid unless he hacked it and he changes it, because he can do that. But either way, I don't want to catch a Dazzling Gleam or a Fairy MZ. I'm scared of that, and might as well just go to Magnezone because it's the safest play. I don't want to go to Hippowdon on a potential Fairy MZ because maybe that would put me in range for something. Hidden Power Ice, I don't know. Maybe critical hit too as well. So Magnezone was the safest play. He brought in the Landorus T as he just went for a U-turn, and I'm just going to go into Hippowdon, as Hippowdon can easily take anything Landorus T wants to go for, unless he's going to be SD Fly Z. That could be bad, but I'll probably just maybe slack off or roll it. I don't know. It depends on how I was feeling at that moment. But he just goes for U-turn, so not too sure what the Coco and the Lando are. I think Lando was probably the bulky set because judging from that U-turn damage, it didn't do too much to Hippowdon. I think it would do a little bit more if it was running attack EVs. So he brought in top Bulu. I have Scizor as a switch-in. I don't want to catch a Wood Hammer to the face. He could predict that and go for a superpower if he is banned, but he just goes for Horn Leech, so that's pretty good. Scizor comes in safely, and I get that Mega Evolution off because regular Scizor is not as bulky as Mega Scizor. Superpower would do a lot of damage, but he would probably fear the Bullet Punch, especially since Superpower would do a lot since I'm not running max defense, and at max attack, Scizor does a lot with Bullet Punch, and if he's offensive and at -1 defense, maybe I could one-shot. I don't think so, because Bulu has really good defense. Either way, in comes the Landorus T, which is not really a decent switch in unless you have Hidden Power Fire, I guess. But, I mean, I could just Swords Dance up on this, unless you're at, like, Z move. But I knocked him off, and he turns out to be Rocky Helmet, so that's really good. I guess he's just going to be a U-turn, bulky Landorus T with Rocks, Earthquake, and filler move, maybe Hidden Power Ice, Stone Edge, you name it. But I thought he'd bring in Hippowdon, not Hippowdon, his Heatran. But I go for Swords Dance, and he goes for U-turn, and I go for knockoff on that U-turn because I expect Heatran to want to come out. I don't want to go for Bullet Punch because, you know, knockoff is just getting rid of all these items. But Heatran looks to be Z move because no item was knocked off right there. So I can bring in the Mantine, which is really good because if it wasn't Z move, I was really scared of Toxic or Taunt. I mean, it could still be Taunt and Toxic with Z move, but the likelihood of that is pretty slim. Although he doesn't have rocks on Heatran, so I'm still scared of it. But I still bring in Mantine, and luckily he does not go for Taunt or Toxic right there, because he definitely could have stopped my Defog, stopped the Roost, and just whittled me down, because Scald wouldn't do too much to Heatran. Like, obviously, if he's an offensive Heatran, it would do a lot, but it could still take it pretty well, since Heatran is just bulky. So that's a weight off my shoulders. Maybe like Grass EMZ or something, and it doesn't do too much to Heatran. I mean, most Heatrans are Fire EMZ or Steel EMZ, and Mantine can take that pretty easily. So he brought in Tapu Koko as a defog. I bring in Hippowdon as if he wants to go for electric move, I can maybe get up my rocks. But he makes another nice play going for the U-turn, bringing in that Tapu Bulu, and I can just go into Scizor. I mean, even if he goes for superpower, he has to critical hit me to do some type of damage, and hopefully he does not critical hit because he's definitely trying. Like I could see, he's really trying to break through my team, and that's a good thing. I like to see that because you know I'm not playing anybody that doesn't know what they're doing. And he knows how to, you know, try and break through, but he's just not enough. He goes for Wood Hammer, though, which still does a lot of damage. But he didn't go for Superpower, which probably, maybe could have two-shotted me at the range I was at. So I get a nice Roost off. And he switches out into Heatran, which gets some more Grass Terrain recovery for him. So that's really good. And at least I still get my Mega Scizor back up for the Tapu Bulu. Like, you always got to keep Mega Scizor at maximum HP as possible, because you need to be walling these physical attackers, because you cannot let them break through at all. So we'll go back into Mantine. Luckily, no rocks on the field. He goes for Magma Storm. He misses 2 Magma Storms. He missed the first one, and then he misses the second one right here. So that kind of sucks. It could have been some nice chip on Mantine, and also does not allow me to double switch as well because it traps me. So now he finally hits the third one right here, but in doing that, it doesn't really do anything at all, as you can see. But it is nice residual damage, especially if you hit the first one and the second one. Like, it would force me to Roost. And otherwise, if he missed, it doesn't force me to Roost. Like, I can just go for Defog, I can fire off Scalds and Toxics. But now I'm forced kind of not Roost just yet because, you know, I'm not in danger of Heatran knocking me out or anything like that. Like, I still can switch around. But before, maybe I could have been. if he did hit the Magma Storm. But, you know, Magma Storm is really bad accuracy, so yeah, that's all you can really blame it on, is running a bad accuracy move. So I go for Skull, trying to burn something and also just doing damage to Heatran. Unfortunately, no burn on the top of Bulu because then it'd be shut down pretty much. He pulls a double and back into Heatran, just trying to catch something, but I just go right back into Mantine. There's nothing really he could do. Maybe if he's Bloom Doom, he could do some type of damage because, you know, he does have that grass terrain support with top of Bulu. But I could probably just recover off that damage and he won't be able to do much. And he misses another Magma Storm right there, so that sucks. Because it could have been Night Shift, like I said, and maybe force me to roost. But he goes for another Magma Storm, trying to break through it. See, this is where Toxic and Taunt would have been amazing for Heatran. That's why I love using especially defensive Taunt, Toxic, leftovers Heatran. It's my bread and butter in the OU tier if I want to run a Heatran. That's one of my favorite sets. Now, don't get me wrong, a Steel EMZ or Fire EMZ is good as well. It can bust through Stall. It can bust through Dragon types that like to switch on Heatran or Goliath score as well. But I mean, I like to just like have a switch into those guys either way. I don't like Heatran, like predicting them to Z move. Although it is a lot faster game when you do that. So in comes Incineroar. I just go for a Toxic, put that guy in a timer since I don't need Mantine really much for anything else on his team since Heatran is gone. And he goes for Knockout, gets rid of my leftovers. Luckily I'm faster, so I'm able to just roost off that damage. But U-turn is going to do a decent amount, so maybe next time Incineroar comes in, I can't switch into Mantine and he can maybe knock me out. But we'll see, we'll see. He brings in the Magearna. I do not want to give this a Soul Hard boost, so I'm going to go right into Magnezone. No Thunderbolt for you, but actually goes for Ice Beam, so maybe you thought I'd go into Hippowdon right there, but it does not matter because Magnezone takes a Thunderbolt and an Ice Beam. You have to be fighting MZ to do something. So I trap Magearna over here as well, since Magnet Pull. If he has Volt Switch, he can get out of there. But he is not a Soul Vest, he's leftovers, so maybe he doesn't have Volt Switch, so he's just going for Ice Beam, probably just trying to freeze me. I'm not too sure. Most likely he's trying to freeze me. Maybe he's like Shift Gear, Fairy MZ, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. Like, that's what the set, I'm guessing. So maybe his best play would be the Ice Beam because he doesn't want to go for Fairy MZ or Flare Cannon and do absolutely nothing. His best play would probably be to just freeze me, but he doesn't get it. And luckily I two-shot Magearna with 2 Thunderbolts. I didn't expect that. So that's definitely like a full, maybe special attack, max speed Magearna. No HP investment. Because I thought Magearna would definitely take more than 2. I thought it's like a 3-hit KO. Either way, in came Lando, he turns into Bulu as I brought in Mantine because I can defog away the rocks. And like I said, I don't really need Mantine for anything else. And also, maybe Landorus doesn't have a move to hit Mantine. He has Earthquake, U-turn, Stealth Rock, maybe hit a Power Ice. So I go to Scizor back on the top Bulu as he U-turned into it. Like I said, I could easily just bring in Scizor always at maximum HP. It's able to just win games. And also at this point of the game, I could probably just Swords Dance up and win once I get rid of Incineroar. So I need to get Rocks up. That's the next game plan for me. Like, obviously, I'm not just trying to sit here and wall his entire team and stall him out. Like, there is a game plan behind this. Like, I need to try and get Rocks up and try and get rid of his Fire types so that Mega Scizor can win. That's, like, my game plan. And I need to try and bring in Hippowdon, and that's what I'm going to do right now because I can't really bring in Hippowdon on top Bulu, and he just keeps bringing in top Bulu over and over again. And I can't get Rocks on that. And I can't bring in Hippowdon on the Heatran because I don't want to catch a Magma Storm or Fire MZ and, you know, lose my Stealth Rocker. So slow and steady wins the race. You can't be impatient and just willy-nilly just try and get up rocks. You gotta, you know, feel out your opponent sometimes at least because you never know. Your opponent might just make some crazy plays and just catch you off guard. But, you know, that's Pokemon. There's so many different possibilities that could happen. Like right here, you see that superpower? That did some big boy damage. But he lowers his attack and with Grass Terrain recovery, maybe I could take another one and roost it off. Or maybe I'm just faster too, I don't know. But he does switch out, so he does not want to take the chance of getting Bullet Punch or knock me out with Superpower. I have to go for a roost because, like, I just have to. Like, I need to stay out of range from everything. And like I said, my way of winning is Mega Scizor. I need to try and Swords Dance up on the right opportunity when Incineroar is weakened to the point where I feel comfortable to just Bullet Punch his team. So he brought in Lando. I bring in a Hippowdon. I'm going to try and get those rocks up. I don't really care if he gets rocks up. Like, I defogged it before because Mantine doesn't appreciate switching in back and forth with Heatran around, but since Heatran's gone, I don't really care if he gets rocks up. So yeah, that's why I'm getting up rocks now. He actually has knockoff, so that's his move slots that I just didn't know that he had knockoff. It's not Stone Edge or Hidden Power Ice, which is cool. You get rid of items, but I feel like Stone Edge or Hidden Power Ice is a lot better because he can hit opposing Landorus's, Garchomps, but Stone Edge also hits the Pinsir that might try and just Sword Dance up on you as well, and you know, it hits Volcarona as well for good damage to run into a defensive Volcarona, because Volcaronas, they just like to set up on everything. You never know what they like to set up on. They just send it in, people just Quiver Dance up. and just hope for the best, because it literally just does that. So he brought in Incineroar, which is awesome because it takes the toxic damage, and it's just racking up more damage, and he U-turns on out. So next time it comes in rocks, it looks like it's going to be a Mega Scizor sweep. So I'm just trying to sack a Powdon at this point so I can bring in Mega Scizor. I just go for Whirlwind over and over again because I'm just taking that Stealth Rock chip over and over again for him. In comes the Tapu Koko, which is kind of scary for Mega Scizor to set up on. I don't want to set up on a Tapu Koko. I want to set up on either Tapu Bulu or Landos, which will probably happen soon because he can't stay in forever with Tapu Koko. So he hits me with the Hidden Power Ice. Down goes to Powdon. Since it was weakened, I bring in a Solvus Mag. I could go for Flash Cannon, and it also might even threaten out the Tapu Koko, but he does not care. He just goes for the Thunderbolt. Luckily, I'm a Solvus, so I'm able to live that. Probably does not live that if I wasn't a Solvus. So hit him with that nice Flash Cannon. Lower special defense, which doesn't matter at all because nothing is faster or any special attacker on my team that can benefit from that. So yeah, I mean, he gets rid of the Magnezone, but it's in range for Bullet Punch, the Tapu Koko, and I could just easily go for the Bullet Punch and knock him out. I don't want to catch a Thunderbolt to the face or potential Z-move. This is Z-move, but I don't think it is. It might be a Magnet Tapu Koko, I'm guessing, because his Heatran was Z-move. He had no item on Heatran. Or it could be, like I said, double Z-move like a lot of the times, but most people don't do that. So in comes Landers. This is my opportunity to just go for the Swords Dance and pretty much win the game. Since I know he's not Swords Dance Landorus or a offensive Landorus, I could easily just take a hit, roost off the damage. Now it is a little risky because he could critical hit me. Definitely could happen. But luckily he did not critical hit me right there. And I just need the Swords Dance to just sweep him. So I go for Roost. And I think I go for another Roost, which I didn't really need to because it knocks out Landorus with 2 hits. I knock out Bulu from full. And I knock out Incineroar from the range of that. But I guess I just wanted to, I don't know, maybe just be in maximum HP range as possible. Maybe if Bulu lives somehow, some way, and hits me with a superpower. But at that point, I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to try and speed this up. Because looking at that Bullet Punch damage, it should definitely 2-shot Lando. Maybe I was just scared that it doesn't 2-shot Lando. But I am running a max attack Scizor, so it's definitely going to 2-shot a defensive Lando. Defensive because he had Rocky Helmet. I don't think offensive runs Rocky Helmets ever. And plus, his Earthquake aren't doing too much, and he took that Bullet Punch pretty well at +2. So in comes Bulu. I knock him out with that Bullet Punch, and that is going to be game because Incineroar is not going to live the +1 Bullet Punch after Rocks, and all my Pokemon in the back will knock out Incineroar as well. So yeah, pretty long game, but it was definitely a good one, that's for sure. And we got one more battle for you with this team, and that is going to be Kuramoz versus John over here. And looking at John's team, probably a Sticky Web team because he has Slurpuff and a Typhlosion, Megalopony, Ferrothorn, probably Stealth Rocks, Tapu Lele, could be Z-move, maybe Calm Mind and Greninja, could be a Ash Gren, could be anything really, like Ash Greninja, you know, you never know. You know, because you never know. Pretty much for Greninja. You pretty much just gotta wait and see and predict what it's gonna be. I guess, like, looking at his team, I would assume it could be Proteon. I don't know. That's, like, a pretty threatening Pokemon to have on this team with Sticky Webs. So, Life Orb, potentially. Either way, I lead off with Scarf lately because I felt like it could be really nice versus his team. He led off with Slurpuff, and I just one-shot with Psychic. So, awesome. One-shot it real quick. In came the Greninja. I guess he knew that was Scarf or Specs or something. He just predicted. But I have Mantine to easily switch into Greninja, and it looks like he's just going to be Battle Bond, and I take that Hydro Pump with a grain of salt because I'm Water Absorb. I take absolutely nothing, actually. I heal myself from Water moves. So I pull a double into Magnezone because I doubt he's going to stay in. I'm pretty sure he's locked into that, and I can bring in a Solvus Magnezone to capitalize on that. As he brought in Lele, and Lele is pretty scary because it's probably Specs, because that Hidden Power Fire did so much. It's to kill my Solvus Magnezone, so if he had Side Shock, that would have been a great play on my Mantine, but sorry, I brought a Magnezone to capitalize on your locked-in Hydro Pump Greninja. So, yeah, I brought into Powdon as I Volt switched on out. He's locked in Empire Fire. He brings in Ferrothorn, and I can go into my Magnezone to trap this, and with Rocks up, I should be good to go versus his Typhlosion and just whittling down his team. But he goes for a nice play, Leech Seed, which could maybe 1v1 my Magnezone if he does have Protect, because modest max special attack, Hidden Power Fire doesn't 2-shot Ferrothorn once you start Leech Seeding and protecting it. So yeah, that's crazy. So he gets his Rocks up, which is fine. Sucks for Mantine, but Mantine should still easily wall the Greninja. And yeah, he's just getting more chip from that Leech Seed. If he has leftovers though, he probably could easily one-shot, I mean not one-shot, like 1v1 Magnezone, but he's not leftovers. I don't know what's with you guys not running leftovers on your Ferrothorn. Actually, he is leftovers. Why didn't I see leftovers? What the hell? I don't know. He has leftovers. And he almost 1v1 my Magnezone. Man, I'm crazy. The other Ferrothorn didn't have leftovers. I remember the first battle. This one did. I swear it didn't activate in one of those turns. Either way, I knock out the Ferrothorn. Luckily, it did not 1v1 me right there. That could have been bad. Maybe it was like the HP investment I had with Magnezone. Either way, I sack it to the Tapu Lele because I don't need Magnezone anymore because everything beats on his team, and might as well try and Flash Cannon if he tries to call mine, but I'm pretty sure he's like Specs. So I bring in the Scarf Lele, and I just go for a Moonblast, as he actually brought in Greninja, so I guess he thought I'd Psychic right there, but no point of me Psychicking. I mean, I guess I thought he could have thought that I'd predict Typhlosion if I Moonblasted, but Typhlosion, I'm not really scared of it when it has Rocks up. And I have a Mantine in the back to utterly wall it, unless you're Hidden Power Electric, which maybe in the OU tier, Typhlosion could have Hidden Power Electric because it doesn't appreciate Pelipers and Mantines and stuff like that. So, I don't really know. Either way, he brought in Lopunny, which is weird because, I mean, I'm Scarf. Maybe he thought that I wouldn't be Scarf, and maybe he thought I'd be scared out by, like, frustration. Or maybe he just forgot that Psychic Terrain was up and he tried to fake out me. Either way, he should have brought in Typhlosion. He sacked his Lele and his Greninja to my Lele, which is awesome. Like, at that point, like, Lele just wins and beats the team when I bring it back in and just click Psychic versus him. So, yeah. I bring in Mantine as I could take anything Typhlosion wants to go for. He could be Specs, I'm guessing, but it does not matter. Mantine takes any of those special attacks for days, and even Hidden Power Ice, not Hidden Power Ice, Hidden Power Electric can probably not even two-shot Mantine. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I go for Scald. He brought in Lopunny, and I'd get a burn, so yeah, that's just done so. Like, there's nothing he could do. Unless you're Facade and Mega Lopunny. But, like I said, I have Scarf Lele to come in and Psychic. So, unfortunately, that is going to be a GG versus him. I mean, I guess he's still going to try with Fake Out, you know. But, yeah, like, there's not much else to say. Lele just comes in and clicks Psychic. I guess Mantine is just going to sit here and roost a little bit. But there is only 2 more turns left. So, really good team, as you guys can see. Definitely check it out. Made by Unami. Max Attack, ICMZ, Kieran Black. You don't really need Special Attack because you want that maximum power Free Shock to just 1-hit KO or 2-hit KO anything on an opposing team. Hippowdon has mixed defenses, like Impish Nature and a little bit of special defense to take hits. Magnezone, I don't know how much speed, like it has a 144 speed EVs. I'm not too sure what that's meant to outspeed, but nonetheless, has a lot of HP and a Soul Vest. And then a lot of people don't run max attack, max HP, Mega Scizor, but yeah, it's there. So Mantine finishes out the game, which I didn't really need it to. I could have just brought in Lele, but hey, it's safety precautions. So that's going to be a GG versus John. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, everybody.